Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Grid. Today we've got a previous member here. We've got Hassan. He's our director of branding, right, with EAI.
Thanks for having
me. And then
me.
new to the podcast today, we have Alex, one of the newest members to the EG4 team. And today we're going to be talking about powering through everything or anything, and kind of their journey with EG4 and James's vision and how these two gentlemen relate to that. Alex, thanks for coming on, man. It's great to have you
Thanks
here.
for having me. Appreciate it.
I would love to hear a little bit about your journey. I know we've worked together in kind of different roles, myself with EG4 and then your previous world with Signature Solar, right?
Right.
So how did that all kind of correlate? How'd you get involved in this process with EG4 Electronics?
So joining EG4 Electronics, I joined, like you said, not too long ago. And I really wanted to get into the engineering and manufacturing side, which is kind of what y'all are exploring into, right, with manufacturing. And I've always been really interested in how the solar products actually function, not just the, it's an inverter, it inverts DC to AC, but how does it do that? Why does it do that? And then, a lot of the unique features that EG4 offers as well, especially with the Grid Boss. But anyways, to keep it short, essentially, moving over to EG4, just wanting to experience the side of things that are why, how does something do something?
How do things work and why do they do what they do?
Exactly.
And Hassan, I know me and you have talked a little bit. I was giving you a bunch of grief earlier, right? So for you guys out there in TV land, who's older? Hassan or Nathan? Now you see the grays over there, and I can tell you that we are relatively close in age. I mean, within a couple of years of each other. So I would love to hear your thoughts on who's older and why. I think I look great. I think Hassan is, he's pushing that envelope a little bit. So we'd love to hear your feedback. Send some notes and some comments out there in YouTube land, and we'd love to read them. And we'll give you a shout out on the next episode, which you guys can check out next month. We've got a surprise guest, Mr. Marcus Jackson, and he's going to reveal some insight into the 2025 year that we've had here at EG4 Electronics, as well as what you guys can expect out there in 2026. I know we kind of talked about it a little bit, before we started recording here, but James's vision with EG4 Electronics, Signature Solar, Solar 76, the whole EAI brand, where does that correlate to you and your kind of role with EG4 Electronics? Like, how did that work? I've heard Alex's story, but where did that come from your world?
Dude, thanks first of all for having me here. But these are some pretty cool mugs. Honestly, I like the look. I like the look and feel. So do I get to keep this? That's my question first.
So number one, no.
Okay, all right.
You do not get to keep it, and you can thank yourself for this beautiful logo.
Yes.
Yourself and Hunter, who was on the episode at RE Plus. If you guys checked that out, if you haven't, please go check it out. It was a great episode. We talked about a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you said that, and that's really what branding to me is, emotionally connecting people to the products or the feeling and the mission statement of the company. So when I talked to James, I said, hey, my goal would be people would love to buy our products for the right tech specs, for the right support, for the right tools that we provide, and your team does as well. But can they love our product? Can they actually say we love our product? And I always say the difference between an emotional customer and a logical customer, I'll take an emotional customer any day, because that's someone who loves your brand, who loves what you do. And we believe it. I was talking to Alex before the podcast, and it sounds like we all internally believe the story. Now we just have to make sure that our customers understand what we do.
I think that's a really easy transition. I've had wonderful customer experiences. We're not perfect, right? Nobody is in the industry. But when, like, RE Plus is a great example. I literally had a lady walk up to me at RE Plus, and she goes, look, my neighbor got an EG4 system. I don't know anything about you guys, but my neighbor is just over the moon excited. Loves your system, loves how it operates, loves the versatility, functionality, the modularity of expandability. And so when you hear those success stories, even from people that don't have a system, right, and they're just hearing that secondhand story, and that's building the brand, right, is that brand recognition from somebody that's happy, they love their system, and then they're sharing that knowledge with somebody else, which hopefully will in turn result in us being able to satisfy another customer and give them that energy independence that we so strongly believe in here at EG4 Electronics.
Yeah, 100%. I actually had the same experience as well when I was at RE Plus. There was a couple of folks that came up to me and said, hey, I started asking, customers and folks who were in the booth, like, how do you feel towards EG4? I want to know how people feel towards it. And what's really interesting is, and this is something I've talked to James many times, is the folks who experience our brand and our product, the installers, the support, the distributors. Our distributors are our partners. Everyone loves what we do. What we've got to do now, the next step, is continuing to build awareness that this is what we do. Right. So we don't have a loyalty challenge. When people actually understand what this company stands for, they're hooked. They love it. They meet people like Alex, they meet people like Nathan, and they just like get it right into our mission. What we've got to do now is just tell the world. It's a pretty easy problem statement.
Yeah, I mean that's what this is. That's kind of what this is about, right? The podcast started off, and I'll be completely candid. It was kind of an inside joke, right? Myself, Chad Bodmer, who used to be with the company, he unfortunately has since moved on to other ventures in his life. But it all kind of started out as just like, hey, let's try this and see where it goes. And here we are. We're a year and a half into the podcast. We've got 13 or 14 episodes. Of course, we did the rebrand and all that stuff. We rebranded the organization as well as the podcast, which ultimately, in my knowledge, has been very well received. We've gotten some really good feedback on the new brand. The new logos look great. Hunter did an amazing job with all of that stuff. My goal, or I guess my resilience with the company, I've been doing this, this is coming up on 12 years.
Oh, wow.
In the solar industry.
Wow.
And I've worked in pretty much all facets of it outside of door knocking. I'm not a guy that's going to go knock on your door and sell you solar. It's not what I do. But when I first got the call from EG4 Electronics to even interview for a position, I did a bunch of research and I looked at it. Now, this is a company and an organization that truly cares about their employees. I went through and I looked at some LinkedIn profiles from current employees at the time before I came on board and was just blown away by how passionate everybody was about what we do, why we do it, right? Yeah. Getting that cost down so that your everyday average blue collar American can afford to have that energy independence that we strive to succeed in.
Yeah, 100%. So let me ask Alex.
I'm sorry, Alex.
No, it's okay. I was kind of thinking. I was like, well, maybe hold on. There's something I want to say there.
No, I actually want to ask you because you out of all of us, you probably the most recent joined or hired folks. So
well, hold on. He's the most recent to EG4.
EG4,
but in tenure within the organization, Alex is the senior guy on the set.
Okay, then I guess
4 years,
I'll switch it up and make it a two-part question.
Two-part
question. First one is when you joined EG4,
gotcha.
Specifically, did you have a different impression of the brand, and then when you came in, it changed or evolved, or it was, hey, it met your expectations, this is it, and then how would you compare it to the other brands part of the same parent company? That's what I'd ask you. I'm curious.
Okay. To answer the question, I think it's the best way that I can answer it and how I can put it into words is looking at other companies, across the industry, and you look at EG4, and I might go on a little tangent here down a rabbit hole.
I like it.
Right? Okay, so with EG4, I mean, we've released quite a lot of innovative products and quite a lot of products just in general in the last few years, especially from where we started as a battery company. And to witness that and kind of see what others are doing in the industry, it does take you aback a little bit to look at the 3 or 4 years and go, wow, we've really done quite a bit compared to what everybody else in the industry is doing. Don't get me wrong. Our competitors and other people in the industry are making changes and making advances, especially with the rapid change of the industry. But EG4, I mean, 18K PV, 12K PV, 6000 XP, 12,000 XP, FlexBoss 21, FlexBoss 18, GridBoss. There's so many different products that we have out there to meet a versatile market and to make the market versatile for a lot of our customers. And I think that's something that, I just keep replaying in my head and go, wow, that's pretty impressive to be a part of for sure.
And the second part?
The second part, okay, so...
I want this tangent to continue here.
Okay, so the second part is hearing y'all talk about the customer feedback that we get, and I love the product, I love your mission, I love what you're doing. For the last few years, in the last two and a half years across the company, has been more in a central role or an internal facing role, and I don't really get to experience the customer side of things as much as y'all do. So to hear that's really exciting, but for me to reference back and wow, it's great to hear our customers say that. I think that also comes into how our teams operate inside the organization. You look around the teams and releasing a lot of products. There comes a lot of hustle with that. Everybody's busy to make great things happen, but the morale has never been low at the company. And the mission statement you really feel in a lot of the people that are there, and I think that's what drives me about EG4, but also S2 because fantastic. But EG4 and S2, where I'm going with this is James, his vision is very purposeful, and his mission's very purposeful, and in turn, so is EG4's. I'm rambling on, but
Please do.
To sum it up, you see a lot of companies, their mission statement are words on a page, right? What I experience here at EG4 is that mission, there are words on a page, right? But that's not how the mission is expressed. The mission is expressed every day in the teams, especially on the engineering side, which I'm a part of over at EG4. And it's an experience for sure to be a part of and to get to see everybody's how happy and excited everybody is to release a new product or to resolve an issue with a current one. It's really interesting.
And I love that. And for me, if I could add to that, it's amazing to see the evolution of the brand. If you look at even recently, a lot of competitors or folks in the space are talking smack. Am I allowed to swear on this podcast? I don't even know.
We'll bleep it out.
Okay, all right. Okay,
we got something.
Okay, they're talking about us. So what does that mean? That means we are on top of mind for them. We were never, in the consideration before. But now the fact that these competitors are making their mission statement EG4, we're not talking about other competitors. We're talking about our solutions. But the fact that other competitors are doing this, we're doing something right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for me, my message to installers and distributors who are our partners, I would say, do your own research. Do it yourself. Find out, back to your point, what is the best product out there? Who gives you the best support? If you do your own research, guess what?
You're going to be an EG4 customer.
That whole point about that loyalty, emotional, you're going to be right at EG4. That's a guarantee.
Yeah. So I'm going to go off of that. Something that I noticed, and I know I've talked about this on a previous episode, I think it was RE Plus actually a couple months ago, is you hear about companies that always say, hey, we promote from within, right? You always hear that, right? Every corporate organization's, we always promote from within. And I've been a part of a number of different large organizations, different OEM manufacturers, different EPCs, installers, stuff like that. And that's usually not the case. And I can tell you with 100% certainty that EG4 is not like that.
Right.
We actually just transitioned an internal member, Alex, you were on from Signature Solar and then came over to EG4. But even inside of the EG4 organization, we recently took Jacob Morris, who used to be on our technical support team, and we brought him over to the technical sales account management role. And that basically is a promotion for him. That's moving him forward. It's gaining his knowledge base. It's excelling him in his career path.
Cool.
And that's something that I'm truly passionate about. I want to see people that believe in our brand, believe in our mission statement, and watch them grow internally. And to really grow the business and understand why we do it. Somebody that's passionate and wants to help people and give that customer experience that we're so driving to be successul at.
Yeah, maybe a future podcast, you should have Kenny on here.
Which Kenny are we talking about?
Kenny Rogers?
Kenny Rogers.
Yeah, man. You guys should have him on this.
Well, we could talk to him. Kenny's a great guy. I don't see him a whole lot.
Yeah.
But he'd be a lot of fun. I would love to get some other people, Signature Solar, Solar 76, get some other people on here to give some more perspective and depth to what we're doing and why we're doing it.
Yeah, I guess for everyone, Kenny Rogers makes what I call the magic happen with all he's the human element of all this. So whatever you just said, internal promotions, getting people, feeling that they've had a fulfilling career here and they are part of that mission statement. I think Kenny's a huge part of that. So the fact that you call it, I hope Kenny, you hear it out. You heard it straight from Nathan that he said something really good about you right here.
Yeah, that's right. Come on the podcast. We'll talk about it. It'll be a great little episode and a little snippet into the environment of EG4 Electronics.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I know when you started, right, you came onto EG4 as I believe it was Director of Marketing or Branding, something along those lines?
Yeah, Director of Branding and Sales.
So, and then what? You were doing that for probably less than 6 months before you got promoted to EAI?
3 months. We move fast, man.
We
move
do a
fast.
lot of stuff fast.
To
include product development, product launches.
To say that, and this is in no way a flaw, but being here 3.5 years, it feels like I've worked here for 10 years with how much change and development has gone on. So an inside joke we have is, you know, we don't measure it in actual years; it's in dog years.
Dog years.
Exactly with how
Yeah.
quickly
It's that
things
1 to
change.
7 ratio.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or if you like something or don't like something, just wait 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's going to change. Right? It's like the weather here in Texas, right?
Right,
You,
yeah.
you don't like it, wait 15 minutes. It's going to change.
Exactly. So just to answer your question, I focused on, when I joined, I focused on EG4, and there was 3 teams. There was and we talked a little bit about this in the last podcast, was the marketing and branding team, the distribution sales team, and then the installer sales team. And then, you know, getting those 3 teams who are so symbiotic and critical to us, you know, working together, that was a fantastic journey for me. And we did some really cool things. And then when I talked to James, he said, hey, there's opportunity to help with the brand across all these amazing brands that are part of James's purview. So, you know, I took on the challenge, and I've been causing trouble ever since.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you definitely have that. I will tell you something that I really like about you personally is watching you bring those teams together. Because we were all pretty segregated in that world. We all had different visions and different expectations. But when you came on and you started kind of correlating all of us together and getting that same mission statement and that same drive, you know, my role has transitioned a couple different times over the last year and a half. But now we've got our regional sales team, we've got our channel support team, which is, you know, our distribution partners, and then you've got our tech support team, and now we're all very much aligned.
Yeah.
We all have that same goal, that same mission. We're all, you know, communicating. If I get a phone call from somebody in the field that's got an issue, I know exactly who I can reach out to on the back end in tech support and say, hey, man, I got this customer. He needs some support. Guess what?
Yeah.
He's going to pick up the phone. He's going to call that guy, and we're going to resolve that issue.
Yeah.
And that's something that you don't see on a really large-scale organization, right? I'm going to use the big 3.
Oh,
right?
for sure.
There's the other 3 major manufacturers. And you probably, maybe you can. It hasn't been my experience personally, but you can't pick up the phone and call one of those big 3 to your regional sales rep and say, hey, I'm having this issue. Can you have somebody call me back? And immediately get a call back.
Yeah, and it's exactly what you just said. And not to make this a bro fest, but
definitely.
I was about to say, there's a lot of huge compliments going around the table right now. Has anybody told you thank you?
Yeah, that's what I was about to do. I was like, not to make this a bro fest, but
I'm very unappreciated.
my job was easier, and I want to make this for the record. My job was easier working with the different teams because folks like what, you know, for Nathan as well, because he was just easy to talk to, and, you know, Alex, you and I just caught up back there, and it was just so easy to talk to people, and everyone wants to do something and help and just make a difference. So for me, my job is now, and I feel like I'm recording myself saying this, but my job is going to be very easy because all I have to do is take this emotional connection to these brands and just show it to the world. So that's all I have to do. So I have to figure out how to do that, and I think when people see it more and more, like through this, they'll just get right into it.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
You know, my journey with EG4 has just been incredible. The growth opportunities, you know, James is the kind of guy that you can just go have a conversation with. You know, he's not this big corporate guy that's never around. He's unavailable. To have him accessible, right, to employees.
So let me ask you, what is your favorite James story?
Oh man.
And you got to think about it too, because I'm coming to you after this.
Without getting into too many details.
Okay.
My favorite James moment was probably Intersolar,
Okay.
2025, San Diego, California.
Okay.
And we went to, for the lack of a better term, I'm gonna call it an after party.
Okay.
And those of you guys that are out there in the solar industry that have been to, you know, a conference, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So we ended up going out, and, you know, James was there, his wife was there. I was very blessed to be able to take my wife to San Diego with us for that journey. And we were at this event, and I was able to just sit down and talk to James and have just a true one-on-one, heart-to-heart conversation. No business. It was just getting to know the man.
Okay.
And he's very open and very adamant about his mission statement, his goals with EG4 Electronics, his expectations. And to have somebody that's just so forthcoming and so open-minded about what we're doing, what we should be doing, and he's willing to take that advice from, you know, a guy like me that really doesn't have any say in what the organization does, but from his perspective, he wants to hear that feedback so he can make sure that his employees and his leadership is doing the right things to ensure a successful, you know, integration between an employee and an organization.
That's an
so
awesome
that's
story.
definitely my favorite with James.
Yeah.
But every time I see him, it's a new story. So
Oh yeah,
it's
for
always
sure.
good.
I can relate to that. But Alex, what were you, man?
I suppose this one's more around just an interaction we had as a big group with James. So this was back in my tech support days over at S2. But
Is that where you started with us?
yes,
In tech support?
yes, sir,
Okay.
yes, sir. Yeah. Started in tech support over at S2, and that's a whole story on its own and how I got there. Okay, but the story with James is. We were having the meeting back in the tech support room that's currently there now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can imagine how that room lays out. So anyways, where I'm going with this is that was whenever the company was small enough to where everybody could fit back in that room and have a company-wide meeting. Anyways, we had this, we were trying to get an account set up for an installer, but we had to contact one of the manufacturers. I think it was NEP at the time from microinverters. So we were trying to get an account, and we couldn't figure it out. So I eventually just email the manufacturer and I go, "Good afternoon, I'm James Showalter and I need a distributor account set up for this, please." And now I didn't go out and do that on my own, okay? I was influenced by a few people. And I'm like, maybe you should try that. But in the meeting, James goes, "Hey, congratulations on getting that account set up. Way to go. How'd you end up doing that?" And I was like, "Oh, I may have impersonated you a little bit." And he just kind of smiled and chuckled. And I was like, "It's been a great 2 weeks so far. I'd really hate to get out of here already."
This could be my last day.
Yeah, but no, everybody in the room laughed, and it was a fun experience. But yeah, that was probably
Alex
one of my.
almost got promoted to customer.
Correct, I did
That's
almost
it.
get
Yeah,
promoted
it
to
was,
customer.
It was almost 2 paycheck Friday.
Right.
Correct.
Oh yeah.
But,
no, that's awesome. I think for me, just to because I'm going to answer it too. If I'm going to
Well,
ask
you-
it,
you got
dish
to.
it out.
You
I'm
have
going
to.
to take it too, right? So. I've got many. I have so many stories of James, but my favorite would be probably in my first week. I had a meeting with James, and it was supposed to be a half-an-hour meeting. It turned out to be almost like a 3-hour meeting.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it was on the board, and he was drawing all stuff. And again, I'm not from the energy space, so this was completely a new language for me.
Just gibberish.
Yeah, gibberish. I was trying to figure out what I just barely figured out what the difference between an inverter and a battery was. Right, so I was trying to get those things together, but so then he told me this concept of the boss box, and he kept explaining it. The way he was explaining it is a box and a boss. That was a part for housing the bosses. So, and we kept going, and then we both looked at each other, and then we just said, "Boss box," right? So, and that was it. Then we
awesome.
got a name right out of that. So that was I kind of want to give a behind the scenes, if you will, on how do we come up with that name.
Yeah.
So it was actually pretty cool.
That's
So,
awesome. That's awesome. Like on the same wavelength almost, and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
clicked at the same time.
To give James credit, and I don't want to steal the credit, it was him who said it first. But James, you can validate. I think you were 0.5 seconds ahead of me. That's it. So
Well, we have to hear his side of the story
yes, we
now.
do.
all right? I
Next
have to-
episode. All right.
Yes, yeah. I mean, James is a busy man, so I always want to get him on here. One of the things that I would love to get James on here to tell his story is how and why this got started.
Yeah. The boss box or what?
No, just EG4
Oh, okay,
Electronics,
okay.
Signature Solar, just kind of the whole world of his background and why he did what he did.
Okay.
I, of course, know the story. I believe you probably do, Alex. I'm sure you've heard it as well, being here for a number of years. But I want to get him to tell his story to the world. And I think that's really going to drive the brand home and really be successful in saying, hey, we're doing this for the right reasons. We're not just an organization trying to make money. I mean, of course, that's what we're here for, right? We're running a business. But we're passionate about what we do. I'm passionate about why he does what he does. And that's why I'm here. I want to support him in his mission. I want to make sure that we're all successful and that we all do things for the right reasons. So, James, when you're watching this, let's get together. We'll shoot it. If you want to, you shoot it from your office. I'll shoot it from my home office. But it'd be great to have him on the show. Again, he did really, really well at the Inter-Solar show, I believe it was. We shot that episode. But again, man, the man's schedule is just crazy, crazy busy. So hopefully we can get him on here and have that open conversation to really tell his story to help drive the brand and show people why we do what we do.
Especially boss box.
Especially-
I want to know.
especially the boss
Did
box.
Hassan make the right claim? I want that to be cleared.
Yeah, it's a mystery up until the next few episodes. We'll just never know.
Yes,
That's
stay
exactly
tuned.
right. Who's some other good success stories? Eric Schlee over on the engineering team recently got promoted. Just going back to that, that driving force of promoting from within and really engaging with our employees. He's done that. We brought over Jacob from tech support onto the account management side. Alex over here from Signature Solar and tech support is now transitioned over. You're on the PLM team?
Application side.
Applications, but
side, yes,
either way, on the engineering aspect of what
right.
we do.
Right.
So I know we've got some crazy good products coming out next year that I'm unfortunately not allowed to talk about, but check out the next episode.
Okay.
We do talk about it a little bit, or I'll talk about it a little bit with Marcus next month. As we get closer to wrapping up 2025, and really excited for what we got going on in 2026. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of new innovation. I've heard, I can't talk about it, but I've heard we've got some products out that are just going to change the industry.
Oof.
They're watching. I hope you know that. They're watching behind the scenes.
Oh, I hope I hope they are.
Just be careful what you say, especially on the engineering side. Hold on. Is he going to say something? Did you guys catch it?
The marketing team is sitting over there, and if you say something, they're just gonna, this is
Correct.
I'll get scolded after this is over, right? Like, you can't say that. Sorry.
Correct. That's great.
No, I mean, I think this is it's been a great experience having you guys on the show. I love to hear about the success stories of employees having the opportunity to promote and transition within the organization. Right, we've got multiple organizations. We've got EAI as the umbrella organization. We've got Signature Solar, which Alex came from. I came from EG4 Direct. You were in EG4 Initial and now transitioned over to EAI. We've got our manufacturing facility, Solar 76. We got Outback Power now is also on board in the organization. So as we continue to innovate, create new products, watching people grow and be successful is really what I love about showing up to work every day. My wife hates it, but I'm usually up about 4:30 in the morning and just cranking away emails and answering Teams messages. Stop scheduling meetings at 6 a.m., please, Hassan, because we're not on the same time zone.
Why have to air my dirty laundry like that?
Hey, man, I'm just calling it how I see it.
Wow.
But
in the podcast off that way. Yeesh.
You know what?
I'm gonna still set up at 6 a.m.
I was actually just thinking about it because we were talking about the grays there. You got a couple coming in.
Yeah. I think I spend too much time with Marcus. His beard is pretty inspirational.
It's inspirational, but it's not gray.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ooh. You know what? Do you know what's salt and pepper? I think that's what I'm gonna say.
It is salt and pepper. You're going for that distinguished look. So I think I got a Christmas.
Was that a compliment? I don't even know.
It's a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I think I got my Christmas gift picked out for you though.
Okay.
I think we're gonna go with a little bit of just for men.
Okay.
Get that cleaned up a little bit.
You know what? He's just trying to win. He's just trying to win the question. Don't get fooled by that. Okay?
Wow.
The question was who looks younger, and I think I'm still gonna look younger even with this salt and pepper look.
I mean,
the audience is gonna decide.
I think the audience should decide. But no, I do want to thank you both for coming on the show. It's been a lot of fun. Be sure to check out next month's episode. Like I mentioned, we'll be talking to Mr. Marcus Jackson. Oh, I got this beat, buddy. I shaved yesterday. We're good.
Okay.
We're going to talk about kind of our year in review for 2025 with EG4 Electronics and kind of what to expect for 2026. As well as if you're interested in EG4 Electronics, go check out our website, get it signed in there, become a certified installer. If you're a homeowner, make sure you sign up. We can get you in touch with a certified installer in your area, as well as we have a ton of open positions right now. We've got, I think, 5 open tech support positions. So if it's something you're interested in, check out our website, LinkedIn. I'm sure we've got them posted all over. We'd love to have you on the team if you're as passionate as we are about EG4 Electronics and that energy generation for everyone. Want to thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next month.